A very good evening and welcome to a brand new edition of Weekend Primetime News. I'm Arundhati Mudanayaka. First a look at the stories making headlines tonight.
The UGC says ragging is on the rise after the leadership training program for university entrants. The president says the centuries-old teachings of Lord Buddha are still relevant today. Investigations continue into two suspicious deaths in Kahavatta. The JP says that parliamentary select committees are not necessary to grant the reasonable demands of the Tamil people.
Now for the stories in detail. The University Grants Commission says that ragging has increased in certain universities following the leadership training program. Student activists allege that there are several shortcomings in the leadership training program.
The University Independent Students Movement has released video footage of ragging that had taken place in universities in 2010. The Ministry of Higher Education introduced the leadership training program with the intention of preventing such incidents of ragging from taking place. This program was implemented with the support of the military as well.
According to my belief, ragging in universities has increased because of the leadership training program.
The leadership training program was not 100% successful. There were certain shortcomings in it. The minister said that ragging will be stopped because they wanted to familiarize military training. Today, Samaranayake is saying that ragging has increased because the government's political motive is to ban the students' movement. That is why they are spreading the talk that ragging has increased in universities.
Most of them are affiliated to the JVP, and the breakaway faction of the JVP is trying to convince students of their associations to follow their political agenda. These are their expectations. Student
groups headed by the Inter-University Students Federation ragged the students coming out from the leadership training program more severely. They wanted to grab hold of the students. We call upon the Inter-University Students Federation to stop ragging. The Inter-University Students Federation has no need to carry out ragging. We created an ideological change within universities to stop ragging. Ragging that was witnessed in the past is no longer in effect at present.
We have understood that the University Grants Commission or the Ministry of Higher Education alone cannot stop this. We need the support of the civil society, especially that of the parents of new students, in order to put a full stop to ragging in universities.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa says that Lord Buddha's preachings 26 centuries ago are relevant for the present as well. The president expressed these views addressing the 2600 Samudata Jayanti celebrations in Thailand.
(2,500) representatives, including Mahasangha from 58 countries, are participating at the Sambuddhatva Jayanti celebrations in Thailand.
Buddha preached, Nadacha Vasalohuti, Nadacha Huti Brahma. Kammana Vasalohuti, Kammana Huti Brahma. This means that not by birth is one an outcast. Not by birth is one a Brahman. By deed is one an outcast. By deed is one a Brahman. Modern concept of democracy. Justice, human rights, and the rule of law. Those very values that we today believe to be the foundation of a free and democratic society. Many of today's conflicts, both domestic and international, could be resolved for the benefit of mankind.
The President was also awarded a special memento.
The JVP says that committees or commissions are not needed to fulfill the reasonable demands of the Tamil people. General Secretary of the JVP, Tilvin Silva, expressed these views at a rally that was held in Bollagala in Kalaniya yesterday.
The government knows that devolving power is not easy, as the people would oppose it. So now the government wants to do this secretively, and they have proposed the Parliamentary Select Committee. What they are trying to do is to portray this as a decision reached through consensus by taking up this proposal made by imperialists at the Parliamentary Select Committee. That is why we said that the JVP will not participate in this. People in the north are not requesting for a separate rule or power devolution. There is no need of committees or commissions to fulfill the reasonable demands made by the Tamil people. These requests can be fulfilled, so the government, rather than doing what is required by the people, is trying to fulfill the requests made by the US and India. Can you call this government patriotic? General Secretary of the JVP, Tilvin Silva, also spoke regarding the country's economy. On what factors does our economy depend on? Number 1 is loans, 2 is taxes, and 3 is fines. The government has no source of revenue. Formerly, fines were imposed to correct people and prevent them from making those mistakes. But now fines are imposed to earn revenue. So they wait till people commit a mistake and impose a fine on them. They come to the houses, and if there is even a little water in a cup, they would impose a fine on the house owner over charges of housing mosquito breeding grounds. A government should be there not to tax or fine the people, but to encourage production and assist the people involved.
Parliamentarian Dr. Jala Jayawardene has challenged the government to appoint the independent commissions and hold elections for the Northern Provincial Council. The parliamentarian issued this challenge during a media briefing convened by several political parties today.
We are not afraid of elections. We are prepared to face elections. There is no problem. I am for the common opposition. I am for the UNP. I challenge the government to hold provincial council elections in the north. If they respect the law and have a sense of morality, then establish the Independent Police Commission, the Independent State Services Commission and the Independent Elections Commission and call an election. We are prepared. The government lies daily to cover up the corruption and wastage. Also, they have spent a huge amount of dollars on foolish projects, and today no benefit can be reaped from these. They obtain loans under severe conditions. Now officials from the IMF will come here in the near future to disburse the final tranche. They will see what additional conditions need to be imposed.
The Government Information Department says that there has been a recent systematic effort to destabilize the country's financial system by a few MPs of the UNP and JVP. Director General of Government Information, Professor Ariratna Attugala, issuing a communique, stated that they have been constantly attacking the Central Bank, the EPF and the NSP.
The communique further says that the finance company has more than 20 billion rupees in deposits, and that Senior Minister Dr. Sarath Amunugama had stated 2 weeks ago in Parliament that there is no risk in it. Government Information Director General says that EPF aims for better returns for its members over the long run rather than short-term gains. The communique says that investments made by the EPF are based on careful analysis carried out by qualified and technical competent persons with experience who are guided by a high-powered investment committee. Professor Ariratna Attugala further says that Sri Lanka's financial system has remained robust and safe even in the face of intense global instability. The communique goes on to say that those who were hoping Sri Lanka's economy too would have faltered in the face of the global situation are now resorting to despicable attempts to target specific economic personalities, including the governor of the central bank. It also says that the JVP is the least qualified political party which can speak about any losses to the state or the people. The communique says that the JVP should seek the pardon of the people for the damage and destruction that they caused to the country. It goes on to say that 2 parliamentarians of the opposition have met with leading businessmen requesting statements to be made to implicate certain individuals who contributed towards the country's economy in misdealings. The communique issued by the Director General of Government Information also says that the actions of these 2 MPs should be revealed to the public and the traitorous act should be defeated.
Singapore's Foreign Minister K. Shanmugam says that Sri Lanka must focus on creating a harmonious environment for all ethnic communities in order for development to take place. The Singaporean Foreign Minister made this statement during an interview with News First Shamir Razulin on Direct Talk.
What is the foreign policy adopted by Singapore towards the subcontinent, especially countries like Sri Lanka?
Well, my country's foreign policy is similar in the context of our relationships with almost all countries in the world, whether in South Asia or elsewhere. It is that as a small country, we seek to build bridges, economic, political, and linkages, people-to-people exchanges.
Now you're visiting Sri Lanka at a very decisive juncture. At a time, Sri Lanka is marking 3 years into the conflict. President Mahinda Rajapaksa visited Singapore earlier this year. Tell me, you did visit several areas in Sri Lanka, the north and east of the country. What is your take on the situation prevalent in these areas?
That, I don't want to be someone who parachutes in and then pretends to give a prognosis of the entire situation or pretends to have understood everything. What I've seen is a snapshot. I was given presentations by the governors of both the eastern and the northern provinces. I met with the government agents in both places. I also took the trouble to talk to people on the street, stop in a coffee shop. That's the way you get the feel of the ground. But the sense I got was that people are beginning to reconstruct their lives. They want to get on with it. I also took the trouble to visit a village near Jaffna, a resettlement village for displaced persons. I went and visited a couple of the new houses. It's very basic, but it's better than where they were.
Minister, I want to know, were you able to reach any agreement with the Sri Lankan government during your visit to the island?
I've come here with a substantial business delegation, and I witnessed the signing of an MOU between your business federation and ours.
Now, Sri Lanka is on a development drive, Minister. What message can Sri Lanka learn from the Singapore success story?
We got stability for a significant period of our post-independence history, political stability, and ethnic conflicts which threatened to derail us were brought under control. And with that, with peace and progress and far-reaching plans, we had been able to bring our people up with increasing GDP and a better life. My basic message would be, economic development is going to require infrastructural development, focus on education, and also a focus on making sure that the different ethnic communities are able to live in an harmonious environment.
Now, what message are you taking back home, Minister, subsequent wrapping up your visit here in Sri Lanka?
My own take as I go away is that there is tremendous potential. There has always been tremendous potential in Sri Lanka. That tremendous potential you are in a position to harness if the country comes together and takes the right steps forward.